Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
So how's the color been, Tina?
It's been good, actually. Yeah, I did like it. I really liked it.
The way that it's faded.
Yeah, the way that it's faded, and like it's actually pretty low maintenance. I haven't had to use, the purple shampoo as much as I thought I need to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You're like not as like salmony as I thought you were gonna be, which is nice. Like, remember when it lifted? Like,
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So it still might happen today in those areas, but we'll just make it as ashy as possible and just keep working towards getting rid of more of it out.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like it looks pretty good and neutral. Do you want to do the same toner we did last time?
I do. I actually like it. Yeah, it's like a really ashy, like it's kind of lighter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I knew initially I want to like transition to a little darker color, but
Oh, do you have a picture of how dark?
I don't. It's like I haven't been able to see anything that I literally like, but I really like the taupey, the taupey.
Right. You didn't want it like too gray or anything.
Right.
You like more of the taupey color.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do that. Are we doing a haircut too?
Yes.
How much are we cutting?
You can just trim it, but just kind of want to add some
More shorter pieces?
Yeah,
Is
shorter
it feeling
pieces.
too heavy right here?
Totally.
Okay.
And then just kind of like not flattering to my face right now.
Totally, yeah. Is this, you always part it here?
That's like where it lands.
That's like, you wake up and it's always there?
Yeah, like if I do a side part, if I do a middle part, this is just where.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we get into today's hair transformation, I want to show you guys what her hair looked like when she first came to me. You can see there's a lot of warmth and her highlights. She has a lot of different colors going on. When this lifted, some parts of her hair where it's a little bit more of a reddish tone did lift more of a pinkish tone, and we kind of just had to tone it to even it out and make it as ashy as possible because her ultimate goal was to blend her gray. And this is kind of how she left after that first appointment. She wanted something that was going to be like mushroomy brown, kind of like a taupey ash tone. And I don't know if you guys can tell, it's like very subtle, but right in that mid area where it was like super red, there is a slight hint of like warmth right there. And so I did let her know that we might come across some warmth as we lift her hair in today's session, but overall she is going to look very similar. We're going to be toning her with the same color. If you want to reference back to this video, this is episode 213, and that was just more of like a color correction to transition her to something that is more of like a gray blending look, because this is how her roots ended up when she left. And like she said in her clips before this, that she felt like it grew out really nicely. It felt super low maintenance for her, and this is what her hair faded out to. So that's the color that she had done and how she left, and then this is the fade from that color. So you can see her roots are pretty much like they're grown out, but they don't look terrible. Like she doesn't have that look where she needs to get her hair done, but I do see some warmth here and there in her hair, and she does want to kind of get rid of a lot of that old color. And then also everything just looks overall a lot warmer, so we're going to be retoning her and just getting her a little bit more even overall, but still blending her roots a little bit. And so today's video is mostly just how I like to do a retouch on a client who is transitioning to a gray blending look, and why this is so important for me to take these sections, because when I do these retouches, it's like so easy for me to pick up where I left off last time. So today, right now, I'm doing the same placement, but I'm trying to keep in mind as I go through her placement that I don't really want to pick up any highlight that I did last time. So ultimately, as I'm going through her hair, what I'm really searching for is the pieces that have the longest dark root. So I'm going in and actively trying to pick out any hair that I really did not highlight last time, because I want to get rid of a lot of that old color. And then this also makes the effect to where her ends are a little bit softer. And then she did tell me that she wanted her root to grow out a little bit softer, so when we were doing her first transition, I utilized slices, and that was because we were going from such a drastic warm tone to transition her into my placement and all of that. But now that we've done most of the work there, she wants something that's going to grow out a lot softer. So I'm still going to go in with the same sectioning, but the difference today is going to be that I'm going to be searching for those parts, that negative space, the dimension that I left out last time, and this time we're going to be weaving it, and adding in a weave instead of these slices is going to really soften her grow out, make it a little bit more dimensional, and just make it super soft and subtle when it grows out. So even though she came in and her roots already looked pretty soft to me, this is going to soften it even more and just make everything look super seamless. And from here on out, she might want to wait maybe even like 2 or 4 more weeks more in between her touch-ups, because it's going to grow out so pretty. And we are going to be lightening her hair to the point where like she won't fade out as warm as she came in today, and that's the whole goal, is so that we could get her to a point where she loves the fade and she can go pretty much maybe like 4 months or so. If she chooses to go maybe 5 months or 6 months, that's totally fine. But our ultimate goal with gray blending is to really get our clients to have a color that is really going to last long and make them feel like as their grays grow in, that it really enhances and just blends and acts like a natural highlight into the color that we've already done. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen the previous episode, I highly recommend going in and checking on it. But if you're new here and you're kind of wanting a slight breakdown of the placement, what I do is I'll do some highlights around the nape and the neck and the back, and then I take that back section all in one go and pretty much do this mohawk type of section, and then I pretty much do that all the way to the top of the head, and I connect her money piece to the rest of the mohawk. I don't typically like to split the back into two because I feel like it's easier to do it in one section, and I'm able to connect that front and the back with the sides in just one section, so it just saves me a lot of time and I'm able to cover more ground with each foil. So I just feel like it saves me at least like 10 minutes of foiling, and just makes it a lot easier too when I go back in and do a touch up. And the reason why I do a mohawk section instead of like a diagonal back or anything like that, it's just really easy to see where you left off last time. So as I'm going in through her highlights, it is so clear where I did her old highlights, and so because of that, I'm not kind of guessing how like where my sections or where my foils should be going, and because of that, I'm able to really touch up and avoid any type of overlapping or spending a lot of time picking out old highlights, because I'm really just picking out the slices that were in between, or the negative space that was in between my slices, and it just makes my life a lot faster and a lot easier doing it this way. And so I did her money piece side, and now I'm connecting that front to the back with this foil above her ear. I always like to weave that one just for some softness. And then after that, I'm gonna just do a couple slices because these sections here have a lot of dark and a lot of warmth, so I'm gonna do a few slices on the side here. But when I get closer towards the crown of her head, I'm gonna start weaving it just to again give her that really soft grow out type of feel, because I don't want her to feel like she's having something that is too solid. And doing more of the weaves now at this point versus the slices is going to give her that softer grow out so that she can go a little bit longer. And another thing I always ask my clients whenever they come in, I always ask them, how did it grow out? Did you like the fade of it? Was there anything wrong with the blend? Is there anything that you would like me to change? And if so, could you have gone longer in between appointments or whatnot? And that kind of just gauges me to create this game plan for them and schedule so that we can pre-book their appointments, and it's the perfect amount of time to where they feel like they need their hair done and it's already preset and scheduled for them. And creating this type of schedule based off of the feedback they've given me just makes it a lot easier to have my clients pre-booked to allow me to have more control over my schedule. I feel like if clients are last minute booking, it makes it really hard sometimes for me to squeeze them in, and then if I can't get them in soon enough, then I fear that I might lose them. So I think it's really important to do pre-booking for clients because it helps retain them as a client too, and avoids them making any type of last minute appointments and you trying to scram to kind of like fit them in. So I'm going to be toning her with the same formula I did in the last video. We did the Danger Jones gloss toners, and I did 6-01 for her root, and then for the mids and ends we did a 9-2 and added some 6-01 with that. Alrighty guys, so here is the end result. It definitely looks a lot ashier in this clip, and you can see in that mid area a lot of that warmth has now gone out with me highlighting and trying to pick out those warm pieces with this second session. And I love the way that this is going to fade into that same type of blonde tone so that she can go a little bit longer. And then I don't know if you guys can tell, but her roots are a little bit softer and a little bit more dimensional so that it kind of blends in more with her natural gray pattern. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.